What's up, y'all? Sorry for being a little bit later than usual tonight. Had to run a quick errand last second and basically had to try to run to the store when it's like slippery as hell out there. Hey, Jacarius. And hey, Nathan, hey, Sandy. The soap after show with Jacarius. Are you doing your own soap after show now? Let me know. Let me know when you do it. All right. Yeah, sorry I'm late, y'all. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving for all of you in the U.S. It was not Thanksgiving here. But everyone's kind of slowly getting into the holiday spirit. You know, Santa Clauses are in the mall now. I mean, just the one. Just the one Santa Claus is in the malls now because he's magic. You're doing soap reviews? Nice. Well, let me know when you do the GH ones. And then, yeah, I want to watch. Oh, Toon doesn't have an actual date yet. Well, keep me posted. Keep me posted. And we can never have enough soap reviewers on YouTube, in my opinion. The more the merrier. It's such a small scene, really. But, you know, we soap fans, we're passionate. But yeah, it is bloody cold out there tonight. It's -8. And the wind is going strong, and the roads are icy. Residential roads here are just never dealt with, it seems, so super fun. Sidewalks are okay depending on where you are and how lazy the neighbors are. But yeah, it was a short week on General Hospital, which is why I was kind of okay starting a little bit later anyway. We got 3 episodes, but they were jam-packed. Hey, Angel. But yeah, they were jam-packed for the 3 episodes that we did get. And I'm stoked to talk to y'all about it. So I'm a bit of a mess this weekend, guys. It was a 10-year anniversary of a good friend and mentor of mine's passing. So that was on my mind. And I had my friend's birthday on Thursday night, and then Saturday was a busy day at work, plus going to a concert right after, supporting my friends and just trying to keep out of my head, which was a bit difficult given the anniversary of my friend's death and a few other stuff, you know. Sandy, you have your air conditioning on. I'm so jealous. -8 over here, y'all. Probably colder with the wind chill. But I won't keep y'all waiting. Welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH after show. I am stoked to get into it. So let's discuss. First, we're going to talk about Dex and Joss, because I got some stuff to say. Joss stayed with Dex all night at the dorms, as you guys know, just watching him sleep from a chair. His fever broke, and Dex was pretty much ready to leave, even though he was still struggling to walk around. Joss told him to stay put and went to find him some new clothes to put on instead of the blood-stained ones. And of course, she offered to dress him from the goodness of her heart. Not that I blame her, honestly. Like, look at him, right? Angel, you have the heat on. See? So do I. So do I. I think the mood music covers it a little bit, but it is on full blast right now. But anyway, Jocelyn offers to burn his previous clothes and gave him a duffel bag to use to avoid suspicion on the rest of what he needs. And before he leaves, he pulls her into a kiss, and she is super into it. Again, not that I blame her, because damn, that man is hot as hell. But I'm also thinking, like, poor Cam. Like, this guy is getting cheated on right now. And it would be one thing if, like, Joss, like, pulled away and was like, we shouldn't do this. But she did not do that. if anything, Dex pulled away first. Joss was like kind of upset that he pulled away. And then he leaves the dorms and she's like giving him gaga eyes and like smiling dopishly. I'm just like I can't blame her because I would do the same, honestly. But like, I'm just thinking of poor Cam. You know, Cam deserves better than, you know, Carly's daughter. But anyway, Dex makes his way to check into Sunny's office, and Carly and Brick were also there. Carly basically had gone over to the office to do some damage control because Brick texted her saying Sunny was fuming over him doing a favor for her. She basically tells Sunny that she and Drew are seeing each other and keeping their relationship a secret because Ned is threatening them due to her buy into ALQ and Aurora stocks, with the advanced knowledge that they would be morphing, which obviously didn't pan out. But if they are found out to be in a relationship, it gives Ned even more incentive to get them into even more trouble. But yeah, obviously she completely avoided letting him know about antibiotics for Dex, and that he was hiding out with Jocelyn. Not that I blame her. Oh, hey, Jake. Yeah, you wouldn't push him away either. Who would, honestly? The dude is, like, smoking hot. That kiss was hot. Wrong, but hot. Man. Yeah, it's just Joss, you know, she just doesn't... like, I know that she's growing up. She's, like... I think the character is 20 by now, I think. But, you know, she just seems so immature in comparison to him. You know, he's been in the army. He served. He's a mobster now, you know, undercover mobster. But, like, I don't know. He just seems like he's closer to his 30s. And, you know, I guess it's classic GH to have a couple that has an older person and a younger person together. You know, Luke and Laura, the age gap there. Robert and Holly, there's an age gap there. But yeah, I don't know. She's so immature. Like, she hasn't experienced life, and she's been pretty sheltered from the mob life overall. Surprisingly. Like, she's only been in one shootout, I think, her whole life. Minus, you know, getting kidnapped as a baby, but she doesn't remember that, so. Anyway, Carly goes back to see Joss, who's just heartbroken at this point that this would be like a one-off thing with Dex. I'm sure Carly suspects something happened between them, but she's not going to say anything. But, you know, she is her mother's daughter, and Carly had a phase, a very long phase, of cheating on her partner, so... yeah, she does look immature compared to him, Angel, for sure. That's what I think, too. But, you know, I feel like Joss and Dex could grow on me. Because, you know, it is giving super couple vibes. Not that I think that they could be one, not in this day and age. No one could be, with the way shows are written these days. But they have potential as a couple. Well, Joss lived with Jax during the summer. Exactly, you know? And that's when... summers are when the things happen in the mob, for the most part. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Carly and Drew. I should mention that before all of that went down with Carly and Dex and, you know, Brick and Sunny, Carly, Drew, and Olivia actually all ran into each other, like, outside. Olivia kind of makes it known to Drew because Carly had run off to do the damage control at this point. She lets it be known to Drew that if he and Carly were together hypothetically, their secret would be safe with her because Carly is her best friend. Her husband be damned. More troubled waters for Ned and Olivia down the line, probably. But honestly, if Ned does do that to them, he would kind of deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, it's... I know when the, like, sort of the voting kind of came down, I was kind of Team Ned just because he was sticking it to Michael. But I just think, and you know, I still stand by that just because I don't like Michael. But I think if he were to stoop as low as to, you know, get Carly and Drew in trouble, then, you know, that's not right. Because Drew's still being kind to Olivia and to Leo, and you know, he's trying to offer a bit of an olive branch at least. Carly and Drew. Yeah, Carly did let Drew know that Jocelyn knows about their relationship. And we'll talk a bit more about more of their storyline a little bit later. Why do Carly and Drew need to hide their relationship? Who cares? Well, apparently it could get them into more trouble with this whole, you know, advanced knowledge of the ELQ and Aurora merger if Ned decides to, you know, make good on his promises to threaten them with it and get them arrested. But yeah, Carly's got some more trouble ahead though too, because Michael and Willow are on the verge of wanting to track down Willow's birth parents, and Drew has agreed to help them. And of course, as you guys know, Carly is well aware of who Willow's birth mom is. It's Nina, and Drew would have been too if Carly didn't lie to him. And Drew, like, you know, I'm surprised he's not suspecting this already, because when Carly did lie to him, she couldn't have looked more guilty while she was saying that Nina wasn't her mom. But anyway, Drew's no Jason when it comes to the sleuthing department. It just feels weak to me. After their moment in Florida, they should be embracing themselves more. I mean, they probably would have, and they were about to. But yeah, you know, plot point to have them have a secret relationship and make the stakes a bit higher. But yeah, it looks like Carly is gonna be Carly and guide Drew away from the truth, because she's offering to help him track the birth parents down. And you know, Carly had that look on her face. She's gonna get mischievous just to keep a secret from Drew, which is only gonna bring trouble to her own relationship with Drew anyway. So, you know, even if the sort of what do you call it? What did you call it, Angel? The insider trading situation. Like the Willow and Nina thing was gonna come up anyway in their relationship, so they ain't gonna last very long. At least they're gonna have a bit of trouble before they get some you know, real relationship vibes going. But yeah, like, their relationship has barely started, and she's already lying to him under the guise of trying to protect Willow from Nina. And the only thing that's going to do, really, is probably end up killing Willow, or at least bringing her close to death's door. It's hard to tell, because Michael's girlfriends don't tend to last very long. They either die or leave town. Or, you know, I think the only woman that's been lucky is Sasha. Like, Star Manning, they can't really give them a proper ending, because they can't really talk about Star now. Or I guess they can by now, but they're just letting that go, alright? But, Drew is too boring for Carly. Yeah, Drew could be really interesting, though, if they just let him be. But yeah, basically, Willow started chemotherapy, and of course she's terrified, yet she's still keeping it a secret from everyone apart from Michael now, which is only going to make things worse for her. If Carly knew exactly what she needed and why, I'm sure she'd be singing a different tune to Nina. Sasha's hanging on by a thread. For real, though, and she's been at death's door more than once. Good lord. But yeah, by the way, Carly and Nina had a bit of a confrontation at the Metro Court later on, though, because Sonny had told her that Nina saw Carly and Brick together, and that's how Sonny found out that Brick was doing Carly a favor. Nina was trying to brag about all the little changes that she brought to the Metro Court, and Carly cornered her former server, I think her name's Trish, and asked Nina what she's done to the soup, you know, to explain it. And it literally seemed like nothing. Even Nina couldn't really explain it. And you know, Carly was like this close to pouring it on Nina's head. And as much as all characters need growth, I kind of wish that she did. Kind of wish that she did, low-key. But it is what it is. Sandy, you're disappointed that Carly didn't punch Nina in her big mouth. I mean, I can't blame you. It's been a long time coming. At some point, you know they're going to have like a physical brawl, those two. But it'll probably be before Carly finds out that Willow has cancer. Alright, moving on though. Let's talk about Alexis for a second. Sam and Dante were at the Metro Court, and Alexis was doing her best not to be in journalist mode. But Nina stepped in wanting an update on the Hook Killer, where Ava's concerned, at least since she's currently her roommate. And with what each person knows, they were kind of connecting the dots pretty well that Esme could be the killer and going after everyone that's connected to Trina. Dante, of course, can't say anything because it's an open investigation. You know how it goes. But Alexis is getting fed up because Jordan had promised her an exclusive and has been giving her the runaround this whole time. So Alexis takes things into her own hand and is preparing to put the killer's letter out in the Invader. And she even lets the PCPD know to let Jordan know. So I don't know if that's going to actually happen, or if Jordan's going to like beeline it to Alexis to give her an exclusive. But, you know, Alexis has already pretty much figured out everything that the PCPD knows anyway. So Jordan kind of deserves this. Like, I know journalists are generally scummy, but what has Jordan done to catch this killer? It's been at a standstill for weeks now. Nina causes the most issues. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, she really can't leave Carly alone. It's true. Like, don't get me wrong. I am Team Carly when it comes to Carly versus Nina. Like, it's interesting for me because I'm not a huge Carly fan. Carly is very sanctimonious, and I like when someone, like, you know, gets the better of her from time to time. But Nina's not really doing that to her. She's just being petty, and, like, Sonny's eventually going to notice a pattern because obviously Nina thought that Michael and Willow were in trouble because she thought that TJ and Willow were having an affair. Now she's saying that Carly and Brick are having an affair. It's like, you know, at some point Sonny's got to see that Nina's, like, petty as fuck. Jordan is too busy in Portia's business. Ain't that the truth? That is the truth. Jordan. She needs better writing. I don't know what happened. Like, I know that her writing has never been stellar, but it was certainly better under Brianna and certainly better under Vanessa as well. Alright, but let's move on though. Let's talk about Brooke and Chase. I'll just summarize quickly because honestly the story is just so bad. Dante lets it slip that to Chase that Brooke was supposed to write him a letter to get him or to help him get reinstated, which obviously Chase knew nothing about. And Dante tries to be like, well, you said that, you know, Brooklyn's been busy trying to make you a big star and maybe it just slipped her mind. And Chase is kind of choosing to trust that that's the case. And trust that Brooke will do the right thing for both him and herself. Oh, Angel, you said, I hate Carly, but Carly is in the right with the situation with Nina. Yeah, she is. But also, I've always wanted Carly and Sonny away from each other. The only reason why I accepted Carly and Sonny when they got back together initially was because the last couple Carly had was Carly and Franco, and anything but that would have been acceptable to me. But I was never really a Carly and Sonny fan. Jordan doesn't have any business, that's why she's in Portia's. Yeah, you're right. They're not giving Jordan anything. Nothing at all. But yeah, back to Brooke and Chase though. Like I said, Chase is choosing to trust that Brooklyn will do the right thing for them, reluctantly it seems. But Brooke, she's in a bit of a standoff with Link right now because she's ready to get him Me Too'd, essentially, since he's clearly been vile towards all of his woman clients, including his latest, Blaze, who, by the way, I just say it every time, I really like the actress that plays Blaze, and I hope that we see her more. And like her scenes with Chase this week were really nice too. Like we get to know her. Like she just shows that she's not just like this like badass artist. She, kind of gives Chase the reality of the situation. But Chase also points out the uncomfortability with Link, because Link is very touchy-feely with her, and it's very obvious that Blaze is not into it. But she insists that she's fine and that it unfortunately comes with the territory. But she's a seasoned person in the music industry. She's doing what she needs to do to be on top, so she's not letting it get to her. And I think, Blaze seems badass enough that if he takes things too far, she would kick his ass. You know what I mean? She seems badass. Carly and Sunny deserve each other. Honestly, you're not wrong. But, the Sunny and Brenda fan in me kind of wants to hold out a little bit there. I know some of y'all don't like Sunny and Brenda, but they were like the last real super couple on the show, so, I'm always going to root for them a little bit. Blaze has to be disgusted by Link deep down. Oh, she for sure is. And it's obvious, like she's clearly very uncomfortable, but I do think that she could kick his ass if it came down to him taking things too far. But yeah, basically Brooke gets to a point where she's going to go public with how he treated her, knowing that all the other females he ever worked with would follow if she did. And with that, he offers her the rights to her songs back, on the premise that she not only keeps her mouth shut about how he treats women, but gives him a praise in a statement. And Brooke actually seems like she might make that deal with him. Let's hope she can live with it. Here's the thing, like, as someone who also writes music, if I lost the rights to my previous whatever, I would let it go. Especially with like a scumbag like that. Like, I know it's a vulnerable situation for her because she lost her singing voice, and those songs are sacred. But she's supposedly a very talented songwriter, and you're only gonna get better when you go further along, right? So you only grow with time as a songwriter. So let it go, Brooke. Like, honestly, that's how I feel. Like, don't sort of give up your integrity just to get some old songs back. Who cares? Yes, Link is awful and he'll get his, but you don't have to basically sell your soul to get songs that really don't even matter. Because you got more good material to come. Storyline wise, even though the songs aren't that good, to me personally, they're supposed to be fantastic for the sake of the story. So why does she need the old ones? If her new ones are still good, no one has rights to the new ones. So, like, just cut your losses and move on, girl. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, let's move on to Britt Westbourne. And let's talk about Britt, because she had a bad week. Austin had convinced her to see a specialist on her Huntington's disease to see where she's at in the growth of the disease, and even stays with her during their meeting. I swear Austin's friendship with Britt is the only interesting thing about Austin's character. I'm not into Austin and Maxie, I'm not into his actual story, but he has good friendship chemistry with Britt, and they both are a little bit morbid and they're both cynics a little bit. So, I know I really like their friendship. And that's the only thing I like about Austin. Unfortunately, she gets news from the specialist that she is in stage 3 for Huntington's disease, and that while she could live for another 5 to 15 years, she'd need full-time care in about a year and a half. And that obviously absolutely devastates her, rightfully so. She asks to be alone and destroys her office and breaks down in tears, and Kelly's just so good in her scenes this week. I feel so bad. I hate seeing Britt go through this. And then, of course, Cody walks in and sees the wreckage. He had just been at the Metrocourt talking to Scott Baldwin about potentially running into a heap full of money because of the Ice Princess diamond that seems to have belonged to Leopold Tao, whatever. The man who he knows isn't his father, but he's clearly down for the 35 million the diamonds would bring him. Britt and Liesel broke my heart. I couldn't stop crying. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second here. Oh, it broke my heart too, Sandy. Yeah, great acting between Kathleen Gotti and Kelly Thibault. Yeah, for sure. That diagnosis doesn't sound right. Well, you know, here's hoping. Here's hoping something sinister is going on, because I don't want Britt to die, but they're going to have to do a lot of running around to keep Britt alive, if that's the case, you know what I mean? Notice the way Dante looked at Blaze. Hopefully he'll end up helping Blaze with her situation and hook up down the road. Yeah, Dante and Blaze could be hot. I'd be down for that. Not the Walmart necklace. Yeah, we'll get into it. But yeah, basically, Cody assumes, that Britt's meltdown is because of those diamonds and offers to just take it off her hands. And Britt is livid because, of course, she's like, you know, of course you're about the money. And, you know, he's like, no, I just meant, like, that seemed to be distraughting you. And Britt doesn't tell him the truth of what's actually going on with her. And she's talking about, you know, the legacy that Faison gave her and being cryptic, and he wants to know the truth, but she's not saying anything. And let's see, basically Robert shows up to come and collect the diamonds. More on that a little bit later, though. We'll get into that part when we start talking about Robert and Holly. Liesel eventually shows up, and Britt tells her the truth. And like I said, Kelly Thibault and Kathleen Gotti, wow, phenomenal scenes. Liesel was trying to be in doctor mode, and Britt was saying she doesn't need a doctor, she needs a mom. Liesel went on about all her failures as a mother and blamed herself for being with Faison in the first place. Britt tells her that it's not her fault, and that she wants to be alone. Truthfully, I don't think we have a lot of time left for Britt, at least for now. Sorry, there's a fly in the way here. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I do think that we're kind of near the end for Britt for now, because she's gone to shoot Station 19. I think, truthfully, she's come and gone from shooting the season. But we're just seeing her leave, like, in screen time. And so she'll probably be gone for the next couple of months. And I think she's about to disappear because she doesn't want, like, storyline-wise, I think Britt is about to disappear because she doesn't want people that she cares about seeing her in that condition. She wants to be remembered for what they loved about her, or what they love about her. Again, such good scenes, though. Oh, my goodness. Bravo. Kelly and Liesel, easily the performers of the week. But also Emma Samms as well. And we'll get into that right away here. Oh, Nathan, you felt bad for Britt. Love Kelly, but wish they didn't give her the storyline. Yeah, I really do think that the writers underestimated their ability in making us really like Britt. And, like, you know, I think, well, I mean, first of all, Cody ain't shit. Yeah, he's a bit scummy, isn't he? Still think he's hot, though. But anyway, I think that, what was I going to say? I think I lost my train of thought, y'all. I'm not even going to lie. Yeah, I think the writers, sorry, now I remembered. I think the writers underestimated their ability in making us like Britt, and also for Kelly's own ability to making her character likable, because, you know, when the character first came to fruition, she was very one-dimensional, because that's how Ron Carlivati wrote his characters, back when he was the writer. Britt is one of my favorite characters on the show. Yeah, but if you asked me back in whatever it was, 2012, 2013, when she debuted, I never would have thought in a million years that I would love the character. But Kelly on her own, even though the writers had made her, like, kind of scummy for years until her most recent comeback, you know, a lot of that, Kelly made the character likable through, like, Britt and Brad's friendship especially. which I hate that they're not really showcasing it. And I hope that before Britt leaves, we can see Britt tell Brad the truth, because that would be such a disservice for their friendship, which really hasn't been getting much scenes at all. But yeah, let's move on to Holly and Robert though. When we last left off with them, Robert was clearly about to confront Holly on working with Victor, and that's exactly what he did. And surprisingly, she told him the whole truth for real. I'm glad the writers didn't insult anyone who knows Holly and Robert by dragging it out any longer, because Holly knows that when Robert catches you, you're caught. There's no escaping it. But she was distraught. She told him about everything that she's been through in the last 2 years. We even got flashbacks of the scenes that she shot in 2020 in the UK when she first got COVID. We find out that she gets dragged into the casino, and that Victor revealed himself to her to be alive and dragged her sister Paloma into the room and murdered her in cold blood. And it turns out that that was the body that the feds found. And since they resembled each other, as some sisters tend to do on soaps, even when they're not twins, although I'm not 100% on that, just the way Robert worded it, and I don't know the character of Paloma very well. I knew that she had a sister named Paloma that looked like her, but I never knew if they were twins or if she just so happens to look a lot like her. The way Britt was with Sabrina and Patrick was hateful. Yeah, exactly. One-dimensional Brit under Ron. But anyway, basically, with the fact that Paloma looked like Holly and faked dental records, they were able to show that as Holly being dead, and that's why no one questioned it. And then, basically, when Holly got angry with Victor while being held hostage in the nice accommodations that we had seen her in 2020, she gets thrown into the dungeon, which appears to be similar to the ones that we saw Drew and Valentine in when they were held hostage. So I think it's safe to say that the brief scream that we heard when Drew was making his escape from that dungeon at the time was likely Holly. He then basically made plans to have Holly do his bidding, and he solidified that by taking Ethan hostage. So now we know that it's Ethan that Victor is holding over her head and not Luke. Ethan apparently got wind that Holly was alive, and that's how he was able to get caught by Victor. And Jake, yeah, you said you knew Ethan was in trouble. Yeah, I knew it had to be either Ethan or Luke, but I hope we get to see Ethan. Yeah, I do too, Angel. I hope so. I love Nathan Parsons. But yeah, flash forward to a few weeks ago. Holly dons an Anna mask and shoots Lucy, but she reveals to Robert that Lucy is in fact alive. The first bullet was rubber. The second bullet left a casing to make it look like murder, and Victor has been holding Lucy ever since. And we even see a flashback of Lucy getting fished out of the water. And since she's the key to keeping Anna on the run with her murder, obviously he needs everyone to believe that Lucy is dead, essentially. How many people are in Victor's jail? Who knows at this point? Probably everyone that's been killed or not. I don't know. Hoy. But with the prosthetic masks being a thing again, for all we know, the person that was killed in front of Holly was someone in a Paloma Holly mask. So no, I'm not gonna twist my head around that. I'm going to assume that it was really Paloma, because who cares? I feel like she wasn't probably that well known of a character anyway, and Emma Samms isn't gonna be playing double duty for characters anytime soon. But yeah, so now Robert knows the truth, but now we're thinking, now what? Here's where things kind of get unclear. As you know, like I mentioned earlier, Victor got wind of the Ice Princess Diamond's whereabouts and somehow maneuvers it to be brought into the PCPD, which will eventually get traded off to the WSB, courtesy of Robert. Victor wants Holly to snatch them from Robert. He's basically testing her since Anna's whereabouts didn't pan out, and he thinks it's possible that Robert is onto her. And she tries to insist that Robert trusts her. Holly does get a few zingers out towards Victor. What did she say? She was like, she just mentions like, well, why isn't Valentine, your son, on your side? And then he was like, watch your mouth. And she's like, oh, you're right. You're very loved, Victor. Like, I freaking adore Emma Samms. I'm enjoying her scenes so much this time around. This is probably my favorite return of the character in the last, 17 years that she's been back? Like, since 2005 or 6, whenever she returned during the virus outbreak storyline in 2006, I think. Yeah, I think it was February 2006. Her character, every storyline that she's been brought back in, has not really been written to be like Holly. And I think this is probably the closest we've seen to accuracy with the character in a long time. And even Emma has gone on record saying that too. You know, she's been like, yeah, the writers were quite shit with my character for the last little while here, but this is spot on for her. So I'm glad that Emma thinks so, and I'm glad that I share that sentiment with her. We're really seeing the real Holly this time around, and it's nice to see. But yeah, basically, as I mentioned before, Robert picks up the diamonds from Britt. He puts them in a briefcase and handcuffs the briefcase to his wrist. He then goes to the Metrocourt, where he's supposedly meeting up with someone from the WSB to collect the diamonds, and he runs into Diane. They have a quick catch-up, and then in walks Holly, who's ready to set a plan in motion to get the diamonds from Robert. Holly turns on the charm and offers tequila shots for the whole table, and gets one of Victor's minions to get her, like, some kind of drug that'll knock him out, and something that she can lace in the salt for the tequila, basically. Is this the third return from the dead for Holly? I think this is I don't think Holly was ever thought to be dead. Was she? Because it was Robert and Anna that died back in the 90s, and she just was living her life, I think. You know, like, I don't think that they killed Holly off until 2020. And unless she died, like, somewhere in the 80s, but I don't think that she did. I don't recall that she did. Where was I in my notes here? Let's see. Okay, so Holly turns on the charm, offers tequila, and gets one of Victor's minions to lace the salt with something that knocks him out. And 92 and 96 she was dead. Why would they mention... Why would they... Hold on, I'm confused. Okay, how did she die in 1992? And then how did she... Like, she wasn't on the show between 92 and 96, so... I'm lost. Sandy, you have to explain that to me. But just to finish off the sort of part with Holly and Robert here, Robert passes out, and Holly offers to take Robert to his room, but Diane is suspicious. She knows something is off and doesn't trust Holly now. The next time we see Robert, he's stumbling back into the restaurant, and the briefcase is no longer with him. And then Holly is on the docks with the diamonds. It's hard to tell if Holly is just doing what she has to do to keep Ethan alive reluctantly, or if Robert and Holly are communicating and set this plan in motion, and got drugged willingly to pull off a bigger plan. I'm hoping it's the latter, but I'm not completely convinced, so, you know. That's how I feel. She came back in 1996? What did she do in 1996, though? Because... like, at this point, like, Robert and Holly are still... Or, sorry, Robert and Anna were still dead. Luke and Laura were together. And I think by then, Bill Eckert was also dead. So what was she doing back in town in 1996? I genuinely want to know, actually. I'm gonna do some Googling, too. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm like, I'm on the GH Wikia. Let's see. So when Laura came back alive, the Scorpios took over and then left. Scorpios took over as the main super couple on the show and helped maintain stellar ratings. But Emma Samms basically just says that Emma Samms moved on because of Dynasty. Let's see. Health and vitals. Okay. So, between 1987 and 1992, she was rendered comatose for 2 years following a car accident, although everyone believed that she had been killed in a plane crash. Okay, so she was believed to be dead in 1992. Fell into shark-infested waters in 1992. Became trapped in a net along with Bill Eckert in 1992. Taken hostage by Father Martin in August 1992. Yeah, so like it says, she had appearances between 1995 and 1993, but she was gone by 1993. So yeah, it says in 1993 she simply left Port Charles with, I'm assuming Father Martin, like she says, or like the Wikia says. And then, yeah, they kind of talk about her, like, her really bad returns. Like 2006 to 2009. Yeah, so like after 1993, she wasn't thought to be dead, so she was just out there living her life, I guess. All right. Anyway, we got a little off topic there, but there's only really one thing left to talk about, and it's just kind of brief. We see Valentine sort of comforting Martin on the docks. He's eating his hummingbird or honeymoon? I don't even know. Some cake that he adores, and licking his wounds over Lucy's disappearance. Martin is still convinced that Anna is the one that killed Lucy. But Valentine is obviously determined to prove that Anna is not a killer because he knows that she's not. And then he remembers that there were 2 shots fired and that Anna is a good enough marksman that she'd only need 1. So it kind of makes me think about that time that they were at the gun range. Like Anna and Valentine, they had that like weird, quirky date. And it makes me wonder, like, were the writers really thinking about this way back then? Like, has this storyline been that thoroughly like planned out? Because if so, I am genuinely impressed, because we haven't seen that much care in like the details of a story in so long. But I feel like honestly, I am really enjoying this particular storyline with all the vets. I think it's utilizing them in quite a good way. And all the major players from the 80s are involved with this, right? You got Laura, you got Holly, you got Robert, you got Anna, Victor Cassadine, even though he's a recast. Luke is indirectly involved because he was killed off for this storyline. And then by extension, Felicia and Mac as well. So, all the major players from way back when are involved in this story. So I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, that's GH in a nutshell, you guys. There obviously wasn't too many things to discuss because there was only 3 episodes. But at the same time, it felt pretty loaded. So, I don't know. I actually enjoyed the week, personally. What did you guys think? Let me know in the chat. And then also let me know what your Thanksgiving, how your Thanksgivings were, because we didn't really talk about that at the beginning. I kind of just went into things pretty quickly here. Like I said, I'm Canadian, so our Thanksgiving was early October, and I was in Montreal when it was our Thanksgiving, actually. But let me know how y'all's were. What'd you make? Luke may be locked in Victor's dungeon. I think it's pretty likely. And maybe, as much as we've seen that Tony Geary has basically vowed to never return to GH, like maybe he can return for like a one-off episode for the 60th anniversary year. Because obviously the writers want to celebrate that in a big way. And having Luke be involved in the 60th anniversary in some way and have Tony make an appearance would be pretty good. Oh, did I see State of Mind with John York? I watched a little bit of it. I only really caught the ending, though, because I usually try to catch it live, but and I did, but only really the tail end. The only things I caught were, like, Maurice sort of poking fun at the fact that he had a, what do you call it? A Playgirl magazine cover. And them talking about religion and stuff, too. But I'll watch it sometime this week when I have some time. Oh, your daughter cooked your Thanksgiving dinner, Sandy? I'm glad you got some rest. As far as I know, when I was in Montreal, my mom and grandmother, I think they had dinner with my aunt. Maurice and John both said Frank Valentini saved GH. I have to agree with that too, though, because GH was on the brink of cancellation in 2012. And, and this is the only praise I'll give Ron at all. He and Ron, they did save GH from cancellation. And I think, honestly, a lot of that had to do with the 50th anniversary and the fact that they didn't decide to go into it silently, They did everything in their power to bring back as many characters as they could, some longer than others. Some of them managed to stay, which I'm really glad for. Like, the fact that Frank Valentini got Finola Hughes to be back full-time to the show is amazing. And even that Tristan Rogers and Christina Wagner and John York, like we got a lot of people back that stayed back, which is nice. Thanks to that interview, I learned that Playgirl existed. Yeah, I don't think I knew about it either, to be honest. I'm racking my brains, but no. Ah, yes. Well, they aren't wrong. Frank Valentini did save GH, but good old Uncle Frank's time on that show has come to an end, as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'm gonna hold judgment because I'm really curious to see what he's gonna do with the 60th year, because obviously this Cassadine story is probably factoring into it in some way, and I'm enjoying that particular storyline. But GH does have 60 years of history to kind of deal with, not just the Glory Day characters. So I'm gonna see how he does with the 60th anniversary, and by the end of it, then I'll let you know if I think that Frank's time is done. If anything, he could use a partner in producing for sure. Angel, you said you made Toll House chocolate chip cookies. Ooh, sounds good. Pie with pie with walnuts. Yum. Sounds delish. Frank needs to close some of these storylines so we can start the new year fresh. Yeah, well, I do think that this Cast Iron story is definitely going to carry on for 2023 because it has to. Like, it really has to. There's no choice surrounding it because we know that Emma Samms isn't here for much longer, but we know that she's coming back in the future. So there's going to be a bit of a lull, and that's probably partially because of Emma's long COVID. And like I mentioned, I think that Finola's on a break too. So they have to kind of pause the story for a bit. But they do need to wrap up the Hook Killer storyline because, just get to the point. Let us know who it is and who it isn't. That's how I feel on that one. I hope we see a Thanksgiving episode. I think we will. It's just that GH was a little bit behind because of the preemptions, but I'm pretty certain I did see a description that there is a Thanksgiving episode coming. Is the Hook still out there? Supposedly. I don't know. The Hook is either out there somewhere or it's Esme, who's, locked up in a tower. So, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that Thanksgiving episode we watched with Courtney was crazy. Oh my god, that was so... I did not expect... I literally just picked a random Thanksgiving episode that I saw in the search. And I was like, here's one. And I thought we were going to get some wholesome, normal Thanksgiving shenanigans with the cues. And, like your classic Thanksgiving episode. Because it was 2002, so it wasn't... GH wasn't completely mobbed up. It was pretty mobbed up, but it wasn't, all in yet. But that episode was ridiculous. When is Spencer getting out of jail? Soon, I hope. I'm sure he'll be out before Christmas. Maybe that'll be the Christmas gift to, the Spencer... the Cassadine family / the, Collins family. Still weirds me out to call Laura Collins instead of Laura Spencer. Thanksgiving episode was hilarious. It was so crazy. It was nuts. It was nuts. If y'all in the chat weren't here on Wednesday, go to my YouTube page and just watch the live stream from Wednesday, or just search up General Hospital Thanksgiving 2002 and watch it for yourselves, because honestly, you will you will just be mind boggled the entire time. It was insane. It was insane, truly. Oh my goodness. Man, I am looking forward to GH this week, though. I do think we're going to see a Thanksgiving episode, honestly. And I do generally like the holiday episodes when they decide to do them. But yeah, we'll end things here shortly. But is there anything else you guys want to talk about before I let you guys go? Because we'll end in 4 minutes, because then we're 11 on the dot, or 11 my time on the dot. Probably midnight for some of y'all, 1 a.m. for some of y'all, hopefully earlier for some of y'all. And then I am going to unwind and honestly probably just watch Disney Plus and call it a night. It's been a weekend. I'm so Lots of like tears to myself. Some were happy tears, but you know, some were a little bit sad. But you know, I'm gonna unwind and then go to work tomorrow, and the chaos that is Christmas. Almost midnight where you are, Angel? Okay. Need a Thanksgiving fight with Tracy and Monica. Oh, that would be nice. Oh, I miss Leslie Charleston so much. I did catch Maurice brought her up in the State of Mind with John, but really just in reference to him not really knowing much about her until they did this interview. Which is crazy because, like, you know, I think we all as an audience tend to think that all the cast must be like good friends, especially if you've worked on the show that long. Like, Maurice has been around since like what, 91, 92? So he and Leslie have been in the same sort of realm for all that time, and yet they've not gotten to know each other, which I find interesting. But in hindsight, it is a huge cast, and the only time that those two will interact is if he's done something horrible, or is, you know, if she feels he's responsible for loss in her life, which he tends to be connected to. But you know, back then she put the blame on Jason a lot too. But yeah, I'd be down for Tracy and Monica fight. I would love to see Tracy back on the show, but I'm sure that Jane Elliott is loving her retirement, and it's well deserved. She put a lot of time and effort onto GH, and has given us many wonderful scenes over all the decades that she was been on. Like, I don't think I've ever not enjoyed Tracy Quartermain. You know? All the classic episodes I watched, she was great back then. She was great in the 90s too. She was great in the 2000s. She was great in all of her returns. And I do appreciate the growth that the character had over the last few years before she retired too. Because they really kind of made her kind of the matriarch of GH alongside Jeannie. And it was well deserved, truthfully. But alright, on that note, we're going to end things here. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This Wednesday, which is officially... What is that? This Wednesday is the 30th. It's the last day of November. So we'll for sure try to find some Christmas GH content to react to. I don't know what that is yet, but I'll find something good for us to watch. And then, of course, Sunday we will do some more reviewing of GH. So thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. Show this page some love. And I will catch you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Good night, everybody. Stay warm. Sandy, I guess stay chilly in your air conditioning. I'm so jealous. All right. Bye, guys.